Good afternoon, Facebook. Just wanted to just do a mock disassembly here of the Z-axis. So for those that need to get into your Z-axis assembly, maybe redo the plug cable that gets loosened up, maybe replacing some ball bearings, that sort of thing. I'll just go over a mock disassembly here. As you can see, mine's already pretty much disassembled. I've taken these things apart. They're really easy. So I thought I'd show you guys the best way to get at this. So for starters, you want to get your tools ready. I recommend getting a brass drift, some sort of soft mallet. You don't want something too hard. You also want to gather a couple of Allen wrenches. Now they're all going to be standard unless you've replaced your Z-axis coupler. So if you have, get the appropriate Allen wrench for that. You can see I've got a couple myself. So you'll get that, as well as a 3/16, a 5/64, and lastly a 1/8. So for starters, you'll take everything off the mount here, so that requires a 3/16. So to pull this off from this assembly here, and then followed by whatever 3/16 bolts you have left for undoing the torch there. So 3/16. Then you'll move on over to your coupler. So you'll undo your coupler. Just need to undo the bottom two. They go to the lead screw. So once you undo that, then you could go ahead and get your 5/64. Start undoing the 4 bolts for your motor. And so once you undo those, you can pull off your motor, with the coupler, and then you'll be left with this. So now last thing is to grab your 1/8, undo these set screws. Now you don't have to undo them all the way. I will, just to show you how it looks like. But you'll take your 1/8 to these set screws, and all these set screws do is just hold this in place. And so once you get those off, that's where a brass drift comes in. Just want to go from the bottom side here, give it a couple light whacks. Once you do that, you'll be able to kind of push it up and twist it as needed. It's also give you good opportunity to clean these up. But you do this until maybe about halfway, so you got a bit of room to remove this. So once you're at that point, you may need to turn your lead screw, because you've got that little deal for the IHS. Move this down. Once you got that down enough, move this over, and you'll pull it all out in one go. So once you undo this, you'll be left with something like this. This is how it'll come out. Of course, these will be underneath the bolts here. But again, some of you have shown that, hey, my wire is loose. Now you have access to that one, and you will have access to that one right there. So again, super simple. And then you'll also notice that whenever you've adjusted your Z-axis, because you had a little bit of play, you'll see now that this side, these are fixed. So these eccentric bearings, they're just they're bolted in place, and that's it. And then this side is adjustable, so it's got a little bit of movement here, range of movement, by undoing this with a wrench here on the flats, and then tightening in place, that kind of thing. So that's it. That's basically the whole Z-axis assembly. One tip I want to add is, when you're disassembling this for the first time, is that you may want to put this in a 1-gallon Ziploc bag, that sort of thing, because once you're removing this, the spring has the ability to fly out, and once it flies off, you'll never see it again. So put this under a bag, put it in the disassemble it in there, and you'll catch that spring. Something you just kind of learn with taking them out manual hubs, if you've ever done that. And that's it. And here, one thing I want to do is the way this goes for reassembly. Let's pretend this is back on this, but this contact here will sit above this here, and this spring will actually go underneath. Here, let's see if I can take this off. But underneath there is a slot there where the spring goes. So yeah, it'll just go right in there. So again, spring goes in there, IHS contact goes there, and that's it. And again, just assembly is just, you know, in reverse. You know, of course, this will be in there. Throw this back in there. Push this down. Give it a couple whacks if you need to. Mine's, of course, a little dirty. I just have to whack it lightly. Anyways, you whack it back in place. Put your set screws back on, and just again reverse the whole process. So hope you guys found this useful. Again, just an easy way to disassemble your Z-axis. There you go.